Hi, so I'm going to tell you about this book I wrote and that it's called The Enlightened Mind. So why is it called like this? The enlightened mind refers to the feeling, the experience, the event that describes when we have new ideas. Scientific epiphanies, some are very famous, like Newton when he saw the apple falling. So apples So Newton's apple is the symbol of gravity, let's say. Some other scientific epiphanies are very famous too, like maybe the archetypal one is Archimedes, who was in his bath. And so he was so excited that when he discovered that he could measure the density of objects by throwing them into water, that he ran out of his bath naked. So this is what we call now epiphanies, scientific epiphanies, or eureka moments, or aha moments. So these moments are moments of discovery. So the first question is creativity different from like these discoveries? So when someone has a new idea, then we can say that this is the definition of creativity. But creativity also refers to what a painter does. So the artistic activity of painting is by definition a creative activity, right? This is what creativity is, besides having new ideas or doing something new. It's really related to novelty. So if we just look at Picasso. So Picasso had a period called the Blue Period in which he really only painted blue paintings using mostly one color, the color blue. But one day, however, he realized he had done enough of those paintings, or he decided he wanted to do something new, so he changed. So even though one definition of creativity in arts is that it is incremental, artists improve and cultivate their skills and style in a progressive way. But they have these little sparks of enthusiasm, these little sparks of creativity where suddenly they want to do something new. And maybe by drawing this stairway, we see these little steps in which we have these moments of trying something new, and we discover that we can improve the way we paint, and this is what creativity is in arts. But we have these little moments where, like the stair, this vertical line, in which that are very productive moments, and we can call them having the flow. For example, Vincent van Gogh had the flow. So Van Gogh started painting very late in his life, and he was 27 years old when he painted his first painting. But his most famous and most beautiful paintings are the ones he painted at the end of his short life. But all those years in which he was very productive, well, we could say he had the flow. It didn't end up very well for Van Gogh, but he did have this flow moment. So then creativity in arts, then we can look at creativity in literature. So the first thing we can do is make this distinction between nurture and culture. The famous nature-nurture debate. So great writers and tricks are naturally great, and we cannot deny their natural, their natural greatness. But we can identify that they would not have been that great or have that level of success without something that happened in their lives. So of course the combination of nature and nurture creates our individuality, and it is Shakespeare, by the way, who coined this term, nurture nature. But so what we want to look at now is pretty much the nurture, part, which we could also call culture. So we have many examples of how something in those great writers' lives have twisted their mind in a way that made them creative. This is why this part could be called the psychoanalysis of great writers. And the list is, so we have Philip K. Dick, the science fiction writer, Dan Brown, Agatha Christie, Granger, Rowling, King, Stephen King, Anne Rice. So the list is long, but we see that. Okay, and then we're gonna end this first part by offering a tip, which is how creativity works, and it works thanks to a feature the brain has, which is to make analogies, to create metaphors. So there is another example using Asimov, the science fiction writer, Robert Bauval, who he looked at the 3 pyramids of Giza, and then he looked at the 3 stars of the Orion belt, and it struck him that the position of the stars was the same as the position of the pyramids. So then he researched on the whole why it was similar like this, and he wrote a book called the Orion Mystery. So, but this is an example of creativity, to make analogies, and we're going to look at Champollion, who discovered the hieroglyphics. But so basically this book has 3 big parts: science, arts, and culture. So, and inside the part about culture, we include many things, even like religious revelations, like Buddha and Moses and Abraham. So these examples of religious revelations, spiritual awakenings, even there is a link. We're going to see that there is a link, because they have these revelations, but we cannot completely set aside the political situation in which they were in. But the real point of the book is to understand the psychological process of those enlightening events in the mind.